We need your support. Click the like buttons below. Now onto the video. Welcome to readtheticker.com. Today we're going to talk about gold and obviously how it goes into silver and the US dollar. And I believe gold is getting ready to move. When we look at the long-term gold chart, I have the weekly chart in front of me, and it's log based with a few moving averages on it. But what I want to focus on is the relationship of consolidations, the beginning of the consolidation and the end of consolidation, and how the time between the high and the low. For example, consolidation starts about here, as you know, the plunge happens, first preliminary demand, we might say in Wyckoff terms. It ends about there, between the start and the midway and the low, and the end of the consolidation is a clean cycle. And as you can see, these even cycles of the beginning of the consolidation and the end of consolidation is a time frame before something actually starts moving in the direction. Okay, so as we can see, if we're looking through the gold chart, we get this quite common start of the consolidation, the end of consolidation, and then the breakout. It's quite common. This is what I'm using the T theory. It's an even cycle. We had the topping here, a bounce, and then it started breaking down here. This long consolidation down here, it started about here because this is the markdown. This is the first preliminary demand. As price slows, you had the low here, sideways movement of a bullish action as the trend lines broke, demand coming in. But then we start to get the markup period as the green area ended. Okay, so this is T theory, equal cycles, preliminary demand, low, some strength, minor side of strength. We've got a typical Wyckoff pattern here. You see that? Range there. And then we get the markup pattern here. This is a perfect Wyckoff pattern, but I just want to highlight how equal the time is between the start of the consolidation, the lowest point, and the beginning of the markup process, or phase C, D, and E. So once again, where are we here? We can see we had the high point there, supply came in, get the low there, and now we're probably getting very close. Probably I would suggest October is a pretty horrible month for metals, as politics in Washington and debt ceilings and stimulus packages get decided. And come November-ish, right through December, right through to March, probably get price movement. I believe it'll be upwards. But you can plainly see the relationship between the start of the consolidation, the end of the consolidation, and a major low or major pivot in the middle of the consolidation. So why shouldn't history repeat? It's repeated so many times before, so it's most likely to do it again. We might get some sort of mucking around before it takes off, but I believe it's going to be higher. So we're coming into a seasonally friendly period, which I believe will be probably close to November. So another month of slugging, mucking around and backfilling in October for gold and silver. But as you can see here, visually, it looks pretty good. So if we're going to look at gold, we also have to look at the dollar and see if there's any relationship there. And here's the dollar once again. We can see high point, low point, equal time either side, a bit of mucking around before we move. Markup, preliminary supply comes in here, slows down the markup. That's where the consolidation started. We get a low point, some, the equal time both sides, and now we've got this mucking around probably before it goes lower, because obviously we're going to get more stimulus, more juice. The Fed balance sheet's got to keep growing, otherwise it's tightening and everything gets price adjusted. And this big black moving average, you see this big black moving average here, that happens to be the 400 weekly on the US dollar. This is the DXY, DXY. So it looks like that's going to be the trend maker, and it's going to be down. And if you're doing Elliott wave, I think that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 or something, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is an A, B, C up, A, B, C, and this is a big 4, and we're going to get some sort of extension down to test the 90 and maybe 86. Why? Because we have the US elections, midterm elections next year. We may or may not get the $3.5 trillion infrastructure thing that the Democrats want to do. We might get more Fed balance sheet printing. We've got to get one or the other. Something's going to have to happen, but I believe the trend's going to be down. As you can see, the back line's still holding the trend, and it's been pushed up to there. So we're running equal time again. Mark down. Consolidation started around here. I'm using the high point here, but so we've got a high to high, another high over here. So it looks like to me we're running the time, and this consolidation's coming to an end, as we just saw with the time relative to this gold, the yin and the yang. I can't see how we can't be positive on heavy metals, and obviously crypto going forward end of October. Thanks for watching.